Hey, good morning. It is Soul Salutations coming at you during the morning equinox sunrise. We're going to celebrate the day by giving you a little tutorial on what this whole equinox thing is, why it's important or why it's been important in the past. And I'm here at another beautiful spot in Wichita, Kansas. It's called the Sedgwick County Zoo Park because it's next to one of the best zoos in the nation, as far as I know, here in Wichita. And hopefully we can pick up this sunrise as we are doing our soul salutations. I hope yesterday you had a good Dickens process, that you've been able to really understand that you don't have to live the life that you keep envisioning for yourself with that limiting belief. Also, 2 days ago we talked about just fail, just do it. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm out here just failing. You should see the precarious way that I'm going to have this phone set up while I'm doing my sun salutations. Let me just tell you, it involves potentially water. Anyway, I want to talk to you about the equinox and what it is. So many people have no clue. The reason why we have an equinox, of course, the word equinox has the equa in front of it, which most of you know is equal, so equidistant. So as the Earth travels around the sun appears to move. You've heard that birds fly south for the winter. It's because it's warmer down there. So it appears as if the sun moves towards the south in the winter for us here in the northern hemisphere. So in the southern hemisphere, when it's winter in the north, it's summer down there. Now, the reason why that does that is not because the sun is closer to the earth during that time. If that were the case, the whole earth would burn up. We are actually miraculously the perfect distance from the sun, and that way we can provide life here. The reason why is because the earth is slightly tilted. The earth is not actually straight up and down, but instead it's actually tilted just a little bit. Now, I'm going to use some fall props here to try to explain to you why we have an equinox and why we have seasons. Summer, winter, fall and spring. This pumpkin is going to represent the earth. This thing that my wife picked up is going to represent the sun. Obviously, these are not to scale. So the tip of this guy right here, that's going to represent the North Pole where Santa Claus lives. And what we're going to do is we're going to tilt it just like the earth is tilted. And it's actually tilted the earth 23.5 degrees north. And if I had something else to represent it, let's use this rock. This could be the North Star. The North Star is always pointing up here, and as the earth turns around like this, the earth is always pointing up at the North Star. And even as it goes around the sun, how long does it take to get around the sun? 1 year, right? It's always still pointed with that stem, the North Pole, up at the North Star. That's why when you look up into the night sky, all the stars appear to move except for one, the North Star. None of the stars move. They just appear to move because the earth is busy spinning on its axis like this. But since it's pointed right at the North Star, even though it's spinning, the star appears to stay still, just like I appeared to stay still as I introduced myself this morning and I was turning around in the circle. Everything behind me was spinning, but I was still right in the middle of the camera. Okay. Now, this is the earth. This is the sun. The earth travels around the sun, not the other way around as it was believed for many, many years. Okay? Now, as the earth travels around the sun, if the earth and the North Pole is pointing towards the sun like this, right? Then up here in the north, the northern hemisphere where the United States is, then it's going to be summertime. On the other hand, if the North Pole is pointing away from the sun because it's traveling around the sun, right? If it's pointing away from the sun, then the more direct path for the sun's rays to Earth is down here in the southern half of the southern hemisphere. Even as the Earth spins on its axis like this, You know how long does it take to spin all the way around? 24 hours. Actually a little bit more than 24 hours, and that's why we have a leap year every 4 years. But anyway, it's spinning like this, spinning, and it's getting direct rays in the southern hemisphere. So for us up in the northern hemisphere, up here, right, it's winter time because we're not getting those direct sun rays as we do in the summertime up here in the northern hemisphere. Now, to talk about the equinoxes. The equinoxes happen when the Earth is kind of like over here. It's halfway, right? It's halfway between the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. It's halfway. It's equal, or the equinox. So right now we're right here in fall, and so the Earth is going to come around this way, right? And then as you can see the stem, the North Pole pointing away from the sun, this will be December 22nd or December 21st. It'll be the solstice, the winter solstice, and it'll be completely pointed away from the sun. It'll be the longest night of the year, and then as it continues to come around, it'll come around here, and then it'll be equal again. It'll be equal north, equal south, and that's going to be in the springtime, and we'll have a I think they call it a vernal equinox or a spring equinox, and that's when the end of winter and the beginning of spring, and that's when the bunnies come out and they, you know what they do. Anyway, that's the reason why we have equinoxes. The Earth is in a position, a special position, where the sun is halfway traveling to the South Pole, halfway traveling to the North Pole. And again, sorry, I'm a science teacher, so I have to say this, the sun is not moving, it just appears to be. So, it looks as if the sun, haha, I do see it. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick it up because it's so bright, but it appears to be coming up just barely. So we're going to go ahead and get our soul salutations on. Now I know it is a special day. It's soul salutations, sun salutations, equinox day, but it's still a day to practice gratitude as we're starting the holiday season. You know, what are you thankful for? We got Thanksgiving coming up, right? It's the ultimate time to be thankful. As we do each of our 8 sun salutations, remember to on each one, as you are in the prayer mode, to give gratitude to one of these things that God has blessed you with, whether it's in my case, a beautiful, wonderful, helpful, thankful, strong wife in Jackie, or if it's just, you know what, gosh darn it, today I woke up and I can see. What if you woke up today and you couldn't see? That would be terrible. But you can see the sunrise. So hey, here we go, let's go ahead and get started, and then I gotta get to work. All right, people. Go to work. Well, I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. Really, this whole thing is more about me counting on you to get me up out of bed, because I've always wanted to get up out of bed early, but I just never do. And I feel like I have an accountability partner in you. So if I can be of help to you in that same kind of way, leave a comment. Tell me what your limiting belief is. I'm nobody, but I'll help you. Until then, have a great holiday season. I may end up somewhere tomorrow morning in a beautiful place around the city just because I enjoy it so much. And I may not, I may just be lazy. At any rate, again, have a good equinox. Share with somebody or ask somebody today, hey, what is the equinox? See if they have any clue, and then you can share with them all the knowledge that you've gained. Aloha.